I got faith in you, buddy.
Oh, thank God, I was worried. Welcome to the New Music. Welcome to the New Music Podcast with your two regular jackoffs from upstate New York. Wow, I'm doing great on this intro. This is why you do the intro. My name is Kyle.
And my name is Patrick. We're back after another... Has it been a month yet? No, I'm just kidding.
I fucking hope not.
Oh, man. It's great to be back doing the podcast thing. How's your week, man?
It's been something.
This week has been something else. Let me fucking tell you that. First things first, before we get into any of the news and all that bullshit, you read the headline. You already know what's coming. We'll be talking about the riots and all of the bullshit that the metalheads and all of the musicians we want to talk about, those point of views. We'll be talking about all that much later in the show. But before we get into all that, we got a couple of pretty cool stories. Actually, this one's really not that cool at all. So I don't want to be laughing going into talking about somebody who died recently, but it is it is kind of sad that Josh Booth of To The Grave passed away. He was their bass player. The guy was only fucking 23.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
No.
Wait a minute. Hold up. He's my age?
I know.
Hold up.
That kid had so much to live for. And that band was just starting to get like some clout. That hurt saying clout.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Josh Booth of the up-and-coming Australian deathcore outfit To The Grave passed away at the age of 23. He died on Thursday, May 28th, of undisclosed causes. The statement that they disclosed reads, "It is with utter devastation and disbelief that we must announce that on Thursday, May 28th, just before 5 p.m., we lost Joshua Booth. Words cannot simply express the anguish we all face in his absence. Josh was a wonderfully kind, understanding, and passionate individual who brought a light to everyone's life. His positive influence on people he touched was so understated, and that's something that nobody could ever replace. None of us could have asked for a better friend to share the stage with. Those who knew him will tell you that he never failed to bring a smile to your face, even on dark days." Now, that's how you fucking respond
Oh, yeah.
to the death of a friend. Like that.
Hey, Ronnie, can you take notes?
But
I'm just saying.
But I think we can close this. We don't have to read the rest of the statement. We can close it with rest in peace, Joshua. You will be missed.
This is a very, sad podcast episode. Not even gonna lie to you.
There will be some laughs sprinkled in somewhere around there.
Oh, probably.
A little bit here, a little bit there. You look like you're playing the world's smallest violin, Kyle.
Sick. So, did you hear that Jaffer Cowboy appeared at a tease return? Where a lot of people are hype about it.
You know I'm hyped about it.
Oh, I know you are.
How many memes have I made joking about how Jaffer Cowboy needs to come back at this point?
Well, how many memes, period, have been made? Just
fair.
Period.
That's fair.
So, we're going to get into this. Jaffer Cowboy appears to tease return. Jaffer Cowboy resurfaced on Twitter today for the first time since 2014. Holy fuck.
Yeah, because like I said, in 2017, that Sun Eater album, just dropped it. No press whatsoever.
To post a video clip from 1995 film Mortal Kombat, which is a dope-ass movie.
Mm-hmm.
Intriguingly, I think I said that right. Anyway, the only dialogue in this clip is "It has begun." We're not exactly sure what has begun, but we're guessing it's something more than the band resume. I read at a kindergarten level, bruh. Like
Reminiscing.
that.
I got you, fam. I got
Thank
you.
God about Mortal Kombat. It's been nearly 6 years since JFAC released new music, and their fans are more than ready. Roughly a year ago, there were rumors circulating regarding regarding a job for a cowboy comeback. Perhaps they were only slightly premature.
Well, they didn't full-blown pre. So
fucking pre. I've done that in a hot minute.
But that is that gives me some hope.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot that they've written in the span of time since the last release. But
2014, since 2014? Yeah, I hope so.
Well, Sun Eater came out in 2017. It's been kind of decided that it was a flop, even though it was very well received by the loyal Job for a Cowboy fans. And interestingly enough, I went back and I looked on their Twitter when I saw this. It charted better than 0.5, The Gray Chapter.
That doesn't surprise me, honestly.
But I mean, that's a big deal for a deathcore band. I got to give them that. I mean, if it did better than Slipknot, then
The Gray Chapter
it doesn't matter what album.
I mean, it kind of does. It kind of does.
Admittedly, that is the one album that I do not fuck with. So I get it.
The Gray Chapter, I mean, it's good, but it's not like crazy good.
If anybody else put out that album, I'd probably be a little more into it. But when I hear Slipknot doing that album, it's kind of a letdown. But at the same time, I understand there was a lot going on and a lot behind what that album was.
Yeah, and you can feel it.
That's a fucking fact. All right. Next up, Justice. Okay, not necessarily justice. But someone finally got paid. Someone got paid what they're due. Who is that, you might ask? Jason fucking Richardson. It's only about fucking time. The discovery came out in 2011. 9 years later, this man's getting paid for all the royalties for that fucking album.
So that had to be so much money.
Now, hear me out, all right? It's not. It's not. We don't have that information in front of us, but
it probably won't be, to be honest. But
I think this was more. It was less of a monetary gain and more of a, this burden has been lifted from me. I can finally stop holding this grudge over Sumerian, because Sumerian held on to those royalties for 9 years, man. Of course that was going to piss somebody. I mean, come on. The guy got blocked by Chelsea Grin. What was it, like a couple episodes back? We talked about him getting blocked on Twitter because he made this call out. Like,
yeah.
I said Chelsea Grin, but I meant to say Born of Osiris. I don't. You get it. You get it.
Yeah, I got it.
But yeah. So, as Metal Sucks points out, our boy Metal Sucks, the litigation came to light earlier this year when a fan on social media suggested that Born of Osiris. So this is actually based on that tweet. That's interesting. Anyway.
Shit.
But as most of you know, if you know who Jason Richardson is, you know that he's been in Chelsea Grin, and he has played with Chelsea Grin and is currently a member of All That Remains, which I still think is a very interesting choice to fill in for, I can't remember his name right now, but the guitarist that passed away from All That Remains.
Oh,
he is an interesting choice to replace him.
Yeah.
Don't even remember if we talked about that when it happened or not.
I don't think we have.
I don't think we knew that he was in the band until.
I know we talked about
later.
The new singer. I know that.
There is no new singer of All That Remains. We talked about the vocalist.
I meant Chelsea Grin. My bad. I meant Chelsea Grin.
Oh yeah, that Tom thing. Yeah, he's killing it too. I gotta give him that. He's fucking killing it.
Killing it.
I don't think the deathcore scene or even the metalcore scene has seen a frontman get replaced and be so much more well received that even the live videos, like people are saying that Tom live was better than Alex on the record. Yeah. Now, could you imagine if this had happened with Suicide Silence?
I mean, it probably has. But...
No, it could have happened.
I mean,
if they had just made the right choice, man. Oofa. What do we got next? What do we
love you, Jared Dines.
Boys and girls at home.
Let's get it.
This is my favorite story to talk about. Are you ready? Trapped frontman blames George Floyd for his own death. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, today in completely unsurprising hot takes, Chris Taylor Brown, I'm totally okay with that mistake right there, trumped. Anyway, frontman who says white privilege does not exist. This has been well documented. He's said this a lot. Among other racist views that he has expressed over the course of a controversy-filled month-long Twitter meltdown. Dude, it's been almost 2 months at this point.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a fucking minute, man. This guy's just fucking going off. He's really enjoying the attention right now. But in any case, he says that George Floyd, who was asphyxiated to death by a Minneapolis police officer earlier this week, is at least partially to blame for his death. All right. So if you don't follow the news, if you don't follow what's going on, we'll give you a brief recap, all right, because that's part of this article anyways. Brown took to his medium of choice last night, Twitter, to say that George Floyd, a 46-year-old black man who was arrested for using a counterfeit $20 bill before being killed, shouldn't have resisted arrest, claiming that makes him at least partially responsible for his own death.
There's so much. Never mind. Just keep going. Going.
By resisting arrest, you're basically voluntarily giving away your right to live. Like, fuck you, man. That's not how that shit works.
No. And there's multiple videos of him not. So
where are people getting this information?
People are fucking racist pieces of shit. Like that. That's what it is.
It seems to me like what's going on is they're trying to twist it in whatever way they can to make it look like whatever insert A, B, C, or D agenda, you know?
No, it is. Like that's basically what it is. I mean, they just want to like protect pieces of shit because they are pieces of shit.
They say misery loves company, so.
Yeah.
All right, so Brown's rant started as follows. Some of you intolerant liberals are insane, especially the ones in bands. The guy refused to get into the cop car. It took 4 cops to subdue the guy. Dude was partially responsible for his death. The one cop was mostly responsible, and a jury will decide what happens to him.
Oh shit! I just continued to read down a little bit, and the guy that wrote this flip shit, flip shit.
Good.
I mean, I agree, but
good. Yeah. Brown added that he doesn't excuse the controversial tactic the police officer used to place his knee on Floyd's neck, that the officer will get what's coming to him via the legal system in spite of recent historical evidence to the contrary. No, that's absolutely right.
Yeah, this
cop, unfortunately, is not getting the justice that he should, and that's why we're in the current state that we are here in the States. It's gotten to the point where there's protests even outside of the United States.
Yeah, there's a lot. A lot.
This truly is a sad week for American history.
Yeah. It's
Dude got arrested for a crime. Then cops needed to transport him to jail so he can be booked. He resisted getting into the cop car so hard that 3 dudes needed to subdue. This number keeps fucking changing every time I hear it, too.
No, it is 3. It was 3.
Okay. That's fair.
At the start of the video, it was 2. And then when it got to the kneeling part on the neck, it was 3.
Brown then went on to, quote, an uncited news report that blames Floyd's underlying health conditions for his death, a favorite talking point of the right-wing media, instead of, the fact that a cop fucking murdered George Floyd in cold blood. I should not be laughing. I am sorry. Mr. Floyd had underlying health conditions, including coronary artery disease and hypertensive heart disease. Go ahead.
What the fuck does that have to do with a guy standing on your neck for 9 minutes? What does that have to do with anything?
And this whole argument that, like, if he can say I can't breathe, then he can breathe, that's bullshit.
It is.
I'll just call bullshit right fucking now. Like, I understand where your head's at. I understand that part, but it's also fucking wrong.
Yeah. I mean, you can, I will admit, if you're choking on food, you can't talk. I will admit that.
Well, because
but if it's like, if somebody is, if somebody is like here, you can fucking talk, you fucking retard. It's.
He goes on to say, I want to make clear that I think the cop was using his knee the way he did was wrong. Minneapolis police should outlaw it because right now it is legal. And then once again claim that Floyd died of a heart attack.
Okay.
So, again, wrong.
Even the knee to the neck is not legal. Like, I don't understand.
I can't speak to Minneapolis legislature. I really don't know. I'm not familiar with that well enough to say, yeah, that's legal or that's not. But I can tell you it's fucking wrong. That's morally frowned upon heavily. Like, all this shit should just be a given. I don't understand why there's so much pushback at this point. But Metal Sucks and just about anybody that follows you, Trapped, they've got all the screenshots in the world to prove this shit. So, like, in 10 years when you decide you want to take all this shit back, you can't. So, fuck you. Moving on. I'm done talking about Mr. Trapman. Fuck that guy.
All right. So, let's talk about Slipknot. Corey Taylor and Jay Weinberg expressed solidarity with protesters. Outspoken Slipknot and Stone Sour frontman Corey Taylor has remained quiet on social media for the better part of a year now. Nice. Keeping personal interaction off those platforms while letting a representative promote his personal appearances and band-related activities there. That changes this weekend as Taylor returned for a quick one-off tweet to express his support for the protests currently raging across the United States in the wake of the senseless murder of George Floyd, a black man, by a Minneapolis scumbag. It says police officer, but I'm going to say scumbag.
Well said.
Floyd's death has reignited the Black Lives Matter movement and renewed calls for criminal justice reform, while the protests have led police to show their colors with more brutal, unprovoked attacks against civilians, which we will cover later on, which is true. Taylor kept it short and to the point, saying, and I quote, "Several roads have brought us to this point. Only one road is going to lead us out of here. We have to take care of the road together. Fight injustice, fight racism, fight oppression." Slipknot drummer Jay Weinberg has also joined the growing number of rock and metal musicians speaking up for racial equality. In Twitter thread posted yesterday, Jay said, and I quote, "Black Lives Matter, systemic racism, systemic. I don't. That's the first time I've ever seen that word. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Systematic racism exists. White privilege is real, and I'm heartbroken to yet again witness the oppression and bigotry that Black people in America have constantly endure for centuries at the hands of a system that's broken to its very core. Dot dot dot. It's time to speak up against police brutality and perpetrators of racism. I'm not going to try it again. And to become an ally for those who do not experience the same freedoms that we who share in our white privilege do. Dot dot dot. I'm hopeful that we can use our voices to enact real change, that we can contribute our time, energy, donations, and comparison to fighting the real equality, freedom, and togetherness. Dot dot dot. Educate yourself, vote, use your voice. I will. End quote. We agree wholeheartedly, Jay, which
that's coming from Metal Sucks, and I think that we can say the same, honestly.
Yeah. Thank you for speaking up, and thank you, Corey Taylor, for taking a brief break from your social media fast to support what's right. And it shows up tweets as well.
There's a very unlikely person that I'm going to talk about next who made some comments about this. Typically, Chris from Motionless in White doesn't talk about political stuff, this. But when I saw this tweet, I had to save it so that I could talk about it here, because the fact that he kind of came out of the woodwork to talk about something political, which honestly, he hasn't done stuff like this since that America song came out way back when. But
it was a hot minute.
Yeah.
It was a hot minute.
So this isn't an actual article. This is just straight from his Twitter. What it said is, after all his indisputable failures and acts of inhumanity, the fact that Trump may still be president after this next election makes me feel like I have to reconsider what/who is America today. Has it officially transitioned into a nation that predominantly embodies what this man stands for, rather than a land of compassion and opportunity for everyone like we thought it was? How could this happen? His behavior and poor acts of leadership enable cruelty, ignorance, and social justice. It teaches oppression and hatred that there is little to no consequence for its existence. It promotes resistance to progress made before him. I am with the riots. I am with the fighting, fire with fire. How else can we expect to change when so many others endorse what we've become? Not my president. Fuck this clown. And you know what's interesting to me about that? The first fucking comment right on it is,
stick to your music.
Stick to your music.
Yeah. There's a lot of people, like, there was I can't remember which guy it was from the Big Bang Theory, but he voted for like Bernie or something. And he was talking about it on a live stream or a video, and the first comment was "stick to your acting." I was like,
"That's okay." I think that kind of shows just how ignorant of a standpoint that kind of comes from.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, it's important to listen to both sides of an argument, no matter what that argument is, because you have to consider
obviously,
the source.
This is America, so we don't.
And when it comes to YouTube, I mean, people are just going to shitpost whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
They're going to say whatever they feel like saying, whether it's true or not.
And you're on the internet.
Who cares? But at the same time, I think that this was probably one of the most well said statements. I don't always agree with the hashtag not my president thing. I think that that's kind of a silly concept, but I mean, I get where they're coming from. The man's a fucking clown, and I don't think that he has earned the right to be president.
And he's also hiding, by the way, as we speak.
Fucking man is hiding.
No, I'm dead ass. He's hiding in like this bunker under the White House in the basement or something like that. Yeah.
You know,
the bitch.
One of these quotes mentioned something about that. Actually, I think it's this one right here. I think it's Serge Tankian. I think that's how you say his last name. From System of a Down. So his quote was, "Run, Donnie, run into your bunker."
Yep.
You may be the first U.S. president to do so out of fear of your own citizens. A real leader would address the nation properly, and a real man would go face the protesters on the streets in person. But like other corrupt, undemocratic leaders in the past, you've realized that you are not your people, and as you are not really our president. These shits get pretty fucking heated, dude.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
These protests are not just over race, but over institutional injustices, beginning with the slave era electoral college that put you in power. Who?
Yeah.
Finally, you don't hear many people like dogging on the electoral college thing. That's something that needs to be said more. You make an Antifa a terrorist organization. Wow, you make Antifa a terrorist organization, but not the KKK. The lessons of the 2018 peaceful, successful revolution in Armenia can be applied in the U.S. and elsewhere in the world. Coordinate online and block every street everywhere and force the regime to resign. The time has come. Your time has come. At real Donald Trump.
Oh yeah. Shit is going down. Maybe that one post that I always share every year that I see it, we're going to see the first assassination since like 18 something.
Wait, what?
There was a post a while ago when Donald Trump first got elected. And it was like, I can't wait to see the first assassination like since 18 something.
First presidential assassination since 1800.
Yeah, or the last one.
I gotta say though, right now, I am very concerned for Secret Service. That's like I'm worried for their well-being more than anybody else, because those guys are front line for the president, and they're probably gonna get an unnecessary amount of flack for doing their job, which is protect the president. Man.
What? There he is. Oh yeah, definitely though.
Do you want to do this Fever 333 one? The Kerrang article?
Sure. Let me get to it. We shouldn't accept this bullshit thinking we are getting justice we need to take to the streets. Jason Allen Bolter on George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement. Fever 33 frontman Jason, I'm not gonna say his full name again, shares his views on the recent protests and action following the death. The most important thing to people understand is that this is what Black, brown, and people they considered others deal with on a daily basis. To understand the frustration and to understand the chaos that we are seeing throughout America, you must first understand what is like to fear your body every day. Based on a system that has been constructed in order to maximize the ability for you to lose that body every day. The frustration you are seeing is compound over generations and comes on a level of blood trauma and quite literally inherited through cultures where we fear. Cultures where we fear. Have a sense of anxiety and a sense of hopelessness. It becomes inherent to our very existence. George Floyd is a symbol of a much greater problem. George Floyd is me. George Floyd is my father, my niece, my brother, and my best friend. George Floyd is so many people. I have been out there, and you could call it various things. You can call it rioting, you can call it chaos, you can call it looting, and you can call it protesting, because it still very much was. But as a result of, that's a fucking word.
Let me find it really quick.
Fuck. Amalgamation?
Oh, amalgamation.
That is a big fucking word. There it is.
Got you.
Thank God. the aggregate product of generations of mistreatment. And here's the thing, our systems and these structures know this is possible, which is why they train for it. They have a riot police and the National Guard, and they train for these moments because they know they're possible, and they're possible because they create them. We are just speaking a language that we have been taught chaos. We're in a system where all they give us is chaos. It is a society engineered. If you can watch that video of Brother George and a man who was so brazen and validated by a system that he showed no fear of consequences. And if you don't understand why people are afraid, frustrated, or why they won't take anymore, then you are either blind, you have an actual disconnect in your brain, you're completely ignorant, or you're just racist. That's it. Honestly, I should have ended here, but I'm going to keep going because this is long. I feel like I should have ended there, but I guarantee you it's going to be like it's not going to get better from this. But the system is not broken. The system is working exactly how it was created, and this is exactly what it wanted. Once we fucking wake up and understand what it wants to do with us and what it wants to take from us, then we can create an alternative method on how we're going to live and operate outside of this. I mean, honestly, if you look at on the fundamental level, the system is not much different to a plantation, and it's not much different from any structure that has been created to exploit the body and utilize it in a way where it plunders culture. All we are being given is mistreatment, death, and misunderstanding by other people who should be understanding us. This is what is happening right now. We need to understand that we are working in a system that it was created in a way to destroy us and to destroy cultures in a way that it breaks them down to such minimum level that they can be controlled. People might think the system is broken, but we are actually just giving it more power because it was created to do this very thing. Basically, we got the point.
More or less, man. This is kind of crazy that, Fever 333's vocalist Jason had a mile-long fucking thing to say about this.
Like, when it's a mile, guys, I mean it's literally a mile.
If you need it, I will put links in the description so you can find all the links to all the articles that we talk about. I typically do that for almost every episode anyway. The next one I have is it's going to be weird speaking for Ivan Moody. But yeah, Ivan Moody from Five Finger Death Punch says
it's kind of ironic that you're doing this one.
I know, that's why I was like kind of like I want to do this one. But he okay. Says Minneapolis.
He also said, when it says like obviously fucking needs justice, he also said that the government is basically broken and shit like that, or he said like trash or something like that on another article. So it's like
a lot of people are talking about what Ivan Moody had to say about it, and understandably so. He's a little bit more aggressive about it than some of the people that we've talked about here. But
he's like stupid, like all American shit. So yeah, he's gonna be a lot more pissed than.
Well, I mean, haven't all of the members of Five Finger Death Punch been part of the military, or did I hear that through the rumor
military mill? And the drummer used to be I'm curious of what the old drummer has to say about the situation.
He's just trying to get laid right now.
I mean, yeah, but
and
he used to be a cop, so.
So I think that's where things are going to be kind of interesting because, Five Finger Death Punch being very pro-America, being of a military background, their drummer is a cop, like technically kind of.
Their old
was a cop. Drummer. Their old drummer was a cop. So like it's going to be an interesting point of view here. So Five Finger Death Punch, more than most metal bands in the scene, have a lot to lose by coming out on the more liberal side of the spectrum with regards to recent events. The band's fan base is largely comprised of red state conservatives.
I mean,
So this could
when
bounce back on them like pretty hard.
when it comes to like, I hate the word liberals. It's like a functioning fucking brain. It's not liberals. It's a fucking functioning brain, especially in this type of topic.
I just think that there's a huge stigma around these titles. And
Yeah.
because of all of that, like it kind of clouds anything that person has to say. Like if you're a Republican, anything a Democrat has to say is obviously dumpster juice, because
Yeah.
what else can they offer to a conversation than spewing dumpster juice out of their mouth?
Yeah.
Like,
or you're like, oh, you don't like any of us? You're a liberal. You're a piece of shit. You're retarded. Like,
wait, so you don't agree with what I had to say? You're clearly a libtard.
Yeah. You clearly should be in a home. Like, fuck
Pop
off.
meat kettle. But
that's a fact.
Typically, my views are somewhere in the middle, because
Yeah,
I find that
me
most
too.
like the truth is usually somewhere in the middle. It's never, there's no absolutes in this world. I truly don't think that there's any absolutes, or at least not any functioning absolutes in this world. So, anyways, which is why it's surprising, and I dare say even courageous. God, I love you, metal sucks. For frontman Ivan Moody to come out against America's hasty reopening in response to the coronavirus pandemic and in favor of protesters saddened and angry by the murder of George Floyd. Let's see here. Wait a minute. Is Metal Sucks coming out in support of Moody of Five Finger Death Punch, our longtime nemesis? Shit, yesterday Attila blocked us when they told trapped singers to fuck off. So it wait, yesterday Attila backed us when they told trapped singer to fuck off on our behalf. Okay, I messed that up the first time. I own that.
Yeah, you did.
So it is indeed a crazy time to be alive. Moody's stance isn't perfect by any means. In a video posted to his Instagram account, his take on the latest hot button issues came with some qualifiers. Let's see, these are my opinion. Okay, here's the quote. Finally. All right. These are my opinions. They in no way reflect my opinions of the band, my fans, my friends, or my family. They are mine. Okay, that's great. He posted in a caption. He also didn't come down as strongly against the police force as I believe is appropriate, saying most law enforcement officers are good people and honorable police, and that it's just a few who are fucking this up. I wouldn't say it's just a few, but I also wouldn't say all cops are bad either.
Yeah, I mean, there are some. What the fuck was that? Oh, it's a cat. So what the fuck was that?
Of course, it was the cat.
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't also say that all of them are great people. I mean, I've definitely seen, or I've been with a few cops that are not the greatest fucking people in the world.
Oh, we haven't acknowledged our white privilege yet, so we have to acknowledge anything we say today regarding this whole situation. Like, we have to acknowledge that this comes from a place of privilege. Like, so I feel weird saying it because I haven't really like identified with that whole thing really to speak of, but I feel like I'm just now coming around to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he says that people are people. There isn't a definition of a person from their color or from their race, their ethnic background, or their religions. A sentiment often expressed by the "we're all just Americans" right wing, which belittles the everyday experiences of people of color and their identities. But this is still progress when it comes to Five Finger Death Punch, right? I would agree.
Yeah.
Their fans must be so mad at him and confused. And that brings me joy.
Brings me joy.
Who knows? Maybe his message will even resonate with some of those people. Here's a transcription of Moody's video.
You know what? I was just thinking, not to get off topic, but since I can't imagine what Ralphie May, the comedian, would say if he was still alive. He would go insane.
if I'm being honest, I wish George Carlin was still around right now. We need that man's wisdom now more than ever. But we can always go back to his old comedy routines and actually find
Yeah.
that they definitely stand the test of time.
Yeah. Like Ralphie May is one of my favorite fucking comedians of all time, and he's highly black power and everything, getting everybody together. So I cannot imagine if he was still alive today, he would have lost his mind.
If I had to guess, he probably would just echo a lot of the things that other people are already saying right now.
I'm pretty sure like he would have his own opinion. That's the difference. Like he would go immediately to every protest. Like he would 100%. I could see him doing that.
Got to get himself like a nice chair to sit in though, because I don't think he's gonna want to stand for that long.
I mean,
he's a big motherfucker, man.
In his comedy, he would say that he did talk about the Martin Luther King rally walking. Yeah, he did talk about that, and he's like, can you imagine? That's 14 or something, 31 fucking miles. That's 1 mile longer. That's crazy. And he ain't got no walking shoes or nothing. He got them fucking some fucking hurting ass shoes, bro. Like he went off, bro. Oh, I gotta send you that. It's fucking great.
Send it to me after all this.
Oh yeah.
But
anyway,
carrying on.
A number of notable rock and metal celebrities have shared their thoughts and matters via social media. While views with the metal community typically run a gamut across the political spectrum. If a high-profile musician are taking law enforcement's side, they are kept quiet. ... Except for Trap frontman Chris Taylor Brown, of course.
Which we covered earlier, so yeah. Fuck that guy.
Here's a collection of some bands, artists, and rock metal community that have started feelings for Floyd's murder and ongoing riots over the past couple of days. Here's where it gets good, listeners.
Yo,
and YouTube.
Motherfucking Ice-T on the mic.
So
give it to me.
If you're watching YouTube, we'll probably pop up some pictures.
Oh, we will. I got that. I got
so,
you there.
Here we go. Ice-T from Body Count. And I quote, "When a motherfucker has his knee on your neck, ... and his hands in his pockets, ... he's sending a message. Yesterday, dude asked if I was triggered. I said no. But then I thought about it. What part of watching another brother getting murdered in broad daylight by the police shouldn't trigger me? Yes, I'm triggered as fuck. This motherfucker said, and I quote, when the looting starts, the shooting starts, ... And I quote, unbelievable. Epath Records posted on Instagram a picture saying it was
that's Epitaph, buddy.
Epitaph. I'm sorry.
I got you, man. I
can't read. I can't read.
Don't take it as me like harshly correcting you, man.
I don't care.
I got you, man.
I don't care. We condemn the murder of George Floyd. We condemn the president for sowing hate. Sowing hate. God damn it. I knew it. I knew how to pronounce it. I just didn't pronounce it correctly.
That's self-doubt, man.
And that one. Thank God the pictures are up. We stand with the protesters, our brothers and sisters in the black community. Black Lives Matter.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Mark Morton from Lamb of God.
I loved this one.
The President of the United States, or this one's a good one, the quote-unquote president of the quote-unquote United States that announced that the National Guard will execute U.S. citizens on site if they're suspected of property theft.
Property theft.
Not in any of the videos. You're using rubber bullets, you fucking idiot. Anyway, any difficulty and I quote from the star himself, any difficulty we will assume control, but when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Donald Trump.
That actually happened.
No, I know.
I'm sorry to repeat my stutter and I'm just shocked that he said something so.
I'm not. It's the same thing when he posted on Twitter, the thugs, which he meant black people, and the good citizens of the United States, meaning the white people. He's a fucking douchebag.
He has definitely made himself very clear, but
That he's a piece of shit.
I'm still surprised sometimes when he has such an openly racist
At this point, I am not. He's a piece of shit.
It still shocks me sometimes because, man, like it or not, he's still the president. He is the commander-in-chief. And to see these things slide, it catches me off guard, man.
It's amazing. It's really amazing. But they posted an upside-down American flag.
Yeah, I'll post it right up here.
And it continues. There's a lot of beauty in the world, so much to be thankful for. I try hard to stay grateful and centered. At the same time, I'm heartbroken and angry, appalled and disgusted at what is happening in my country that I love so much. I wish I knew what I could do to be part of a solution. And he also retweeted a person that said, going to work every day, taking care of your community for those you is the solution. Those who are yelling at others who ultimately agree on the same premise, calling for race wars, destroying property, etc., is opposite of the solution. Now, I got to say something about that before I continue with this article. Mm-hmm. Did you realize that Martin Luther King, when he got killed, there was a meme saying, "Oh, without any destroying property and shit." You realize when he got killed, millions of dollars of rioting happened after that. You guys realize this, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, come on! He led an entire fucking movement. You can't expect there to be no consequence.
So technically, half of that meme is right. Yes, he changed most of the stuff that we are now, but you don't realize he still got killed. And after he got killed, what's happening now is what happened back then.
Not quite to the extremity that,
obviously, but just the point
it's getting pretty close, though.
Come on. Open your fucking eyes. You're retarded. Anyway. And he retweeted saying, perhaps true. However, when an entire segment of society is being systematically attacked with no effective means of resource or justice, hashtag taking care of that community will eventually involve people protecting and defending themselves by any means necessary.
Yo, I like this machine head Rob Flynn comment right here. This one's really good. They arrested a black CNN reporter before the arrest of the 4 officers who did the murder of George Floyd.
See how broken this fucking society is?
A lot of changes need to happen, and it's crazy because this is not supposed to be a political show, but there's a lot of crazy shit happening politically in the country right now, so.
And obviously some people are not going to agree with the views. I'd be surprised if they don't, but if you don't, then you can just find another place. But anyway, Doc Coyle from Bad Wolves. This sad day, our country is divided. Our country is bleeding. Circa?
Oh, Circa Survive.
Circa Survive. FYI, we donate 100% of what we raise from our documentary Travel Heim. I hope I said that right.
That's him.
Him. Okay.
Him.
I was going to say him, but I was like, that doesn't look right.
I know.
To the @NAACP and @MN Freedom Fund. Our hearts are repeatedly broken by our inability to properly apologize for heal and amend inequality, murderous abuse, and injustice. As a nation, we stand in solidarity. Amy Lee from Evanescence. I believe I said that right.
Evanescence?
Evanescence. There we go.
Man, this has been quite the day for you.
Yeah, I'm doing great.
I mean,
doing
you're
great.
You're flustered, dude.
I'm fucking getting it. I'm getting it, dude. Fucking sick. I'm fucking getting it. I'm angry, horrified, ashamed, and have been trying to put my thoughts into words all day. evil abuses of power and murder in the streets. A president who calls press conference in the middle of a nationwide outcry only to try and change the subject and not even mention the murder of George. And immeasurable injustices that came before it on top of his threatening racist tweet, my blood boils. This is what I want to say. Your voices are not unheard. We are grieving with you, and it is not okay. Vernon Reed of Living Color retweeted a New York Times tweet that said, the phase President Trump tweeted when the looting starts, the shooting starts, was the first used by Miami Police Chief Walter Headley in the 1960s when he sent officers with shotguns and dogs patrol black neighborhoods. This, and I quote, or quote unquote, this is war, Headley. He retweeted it saying, red meat tossed as an indulgence to his base, coronavirus active in the background continues its lethal work behind protests and hurricanes with no end in sight, flattering curves to the contrary. And I actually have to visit Instagram to see this post by Cedric Bixer Vavala.
The Mars Volta guy.
At the drive-in. Hold up.
It might not even be there anymore.
Oh, no, it's there. Oh, wait, no, it's not. It's not there anymore.
Oof. So whatever he had to say
got taken down.
Too bad they didn't screenshot it.
Yeah.
All right, next up is Tim Henson for Polyphia.
They posted a picture, which is crazy. Which is awesome.
I love this.
Say that
Polyphia.
Again. Polyphia fan, you are in the Qatar community. Take a moment to retweet this link. If you can afford to donate, do that. Otherwise, please share. And it's hashtag Black Lives Matter, and it's minnesotafund.org/donate. And they donated a picture of $1,000. That's amazing.
I love it. This is what I love to see, man. If there is a way for you to support this, please go out there and make the donation.
Yeah, I agree.
That's great.
No, I've never watched The Orange is the New Black, but Jessica Pimentel? Sure.
You got me on that one.
Okay, my phone just froze. Sick.
So this is a picture
I can
on
see
Instagram.
I can see it. It's a picture on Instagram that says, please, 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 I can't breathe. Please, man, please, somebody help me. Please, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. What? And they crossed out a couple of words. Man, I can't breathe. My face. Crossed out another word. I can't breathe. Please. Yeah, you basically.
You get the point, man. I like where it says right there, he even cried out for his mother.
Yeah, he did. Moving on. I got my phone to stop being a dick. Brian Fair from Shadowfall. I just got a text from a random person. Hold up. I didn't read that for a second. I was like, wait a minute, what? I was like, wait a minute, hold up. Wait a minute, what? And this is, the person that texted me is like literally at the Cumbies right now. So, working at Cumbies right now.
Okay.
And she said that she had to call the cops on a customer.
Why?
I don't know. That's why I texted her. I was like, why? God. But anyway, I try to. Yeah.
No, sorry. Anyway, go on.
No, it's not Jeff yet.
No, we're not onto Joff yet.
We're not onto Joffrey. I try to keep my tweets lighthearted, positive, but sitting here on my 45th birthday watching, this is 45th birthday and he's tweeting this. Oh my God. Watching the country burn.
Our president has a Twitter account.
True. Realizing little real change has come in my lifetime and impossible acknowledge the darkness, realize fire might be the only way to bring back the light. Now we're on to Joffrey. That retweeted Brian Steller's post about a CNN video. Here's a full video of CNN's news being detained and shit like that. And he said, no matter what you think, any news platform, this is fascism. Uniform, the band Uniform, said George Floyd murdered on camera from multiple angles. Cops filed objectively false statement about time, manner of death. District attorney hesitant to file charges. Protesters doing the only thing that makes sense in an insane situation. Systems fucked. Burn down. Start from scratch.
That's usually my stance for just about everything. Just destroy, rebuild.
Yeah, I agree.
Jucifer.
Well, something about the reason why the cops were called is because something about a mask.
Oh.
And he like flipped out.
All right, that's sad.
Whatever.
I like this band name. Never heard of this band, but
me either. Jucifer. Sure. It's spelled Jucifer. And I quote, "We can't allow the destruction to continue," an official says. Property. Fuck, I cannot read today. If officials would stop allowing destruction of people. Say this band name. I'm going to butcher it.
Zabalba?
Sure.
Yeah. Apparently they're a California band because it's Zabalba CA on Twitter.
Zabalba CA.
Moving on.
Stands as a crew and people with the black community, the peoples of Minnesota, black and brown, Negroes, my Spanish is terrible.
Negros y Morenos Unidos. I got you, fam.
There we go.
I fucking got
I took Spanish for like 2 years and I didn't learn a lick of it.
I took it for 3 years. Guess what? I can read that shit, but I can't fucking speak it to you, man. You tell me Rojo or whatever the fuck you want to say to me, man. I know it, but I can't say it back to you. Wait, why would Stray from the Path only post George Floyd?
I don't fucking know.
They're the band that we should be going to right now. They are the modern day Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, we got like 2 or 3 more to go. Having a hard time figuring out which Trumpism of the following gets him the daily Hitler pineapple up in the ass in hell, a la Little Nicky. Repeatedly calling COVID the Chinese virus, golfing the day United States hits 100K. By the way, he did. Openly
condoning.
Can't even speak. Condoning ordering the firing on civilians in Minnesota. Alex Minicola. I hope I said that right. From the band 3 Teeth. I've never heard this band either.
You've definitely heard one of their songs. They've got one song that was really popular. I think it was on a pro skater game, but it's like it was like one of the only like super heavy songs that had screams on it on the old like Tony Hawk games.
I probably heard it. Yeah, you're probably right. He tweeted, this country's institutionalized racism not only runs thoughts, its legislation
municipal.
Yep. Systems and perception management narratives, and also deep it okay. I swear, guys.
Hold on. I think I got this.
I promise.
Hold on. So it says the country's institutionalized racism not only runs through its legislation, municipal systems, and perception management narratives, and also deep the egoic blueprints of its foundation and the psychic scars of its blood-soaked history. So I get what they're trying to say there. They kind of fucked it up a little bit.
Like, I'm actually kind of surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually put what he said down on this next tweet for his death. By tomorrow, they'll be saying George Floyd died of COVID-19. is sad, but I could like see it. Like that's the worst part.
It's weird because like a part of me hears that and like immediately gets a little bit pissed, but also thinks like, damn, he's probably right though.
No, he probably is. So let's go on to the band Axe Slayer.
Oh, Axe?
This one's good.
Axe Slasher!
They go off. Axe Slasher. Fuck this president, fuck the police, and fuck the form-dwelling mongoloid. There we go. That opened fire on protesters in Denver last night.
Next up, Andy Biersack comes up to the mic with.
Oh yeah, I saw this. Somebody posted this on their story on Instagram. I saw it.
Wholesome, truly wholesome.
It is.
It's actually good. Like he isn't in the press for a bad reason for once. There's no justification for the senseless and brutal killing of George Floyd, and it's truly heartbreaking to see that something so egregious. That's why I read this one, because I knew you wouldn't get that word.
Fuck off.
Continues to happen in our country. So many people live without promise of justice, peace, and equality, and that's not acceptable. We must change. So that was a cool thing that he said. Ronnie Radke. People gonna burn America down over these cops killing people. He ain't wrong. Like if no. Shit doesn't change, like that's pretty much what's gonna happen. OTEP, singer of OTEP, shared a video, and I'll share it on. I'll put it up here so that you guys can kind of see what's going on. But the comment itself reads, American citizens far from trouble legally sitting American citizens far from trouble legally sitting on their porches. This is what Trump has wanted since he got in the big seat. This clip here kind of bugs me. You'll see why. Chris Jericho. Here's a picture of Martin Luther King.
Chris Jericho, the late champion of AEW.
Here's a picture of Martin Luther King saying, "The time is always right to do what is right."
Oh shit! Actually, it's not because just the mask. By the way, I read the full. I read the full text that she sent. By the way.
Oh God.
He was complaining that the store enforced the mask thing and asked to leave the store. He went out 5 minutes later, came back and started recording me. Falsely information. My boss is there now and getting company restraining order on him, and followed this sentence up with white privilege and white power. Everyone in the store was white, so he's just racist, narcissist. So if you see me on the internet, you know why. Holy fuck. Damn.
People be wildin' right now.
What the fuck? Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so Chris Jericho comes in sharing a picture of Martin Luther King Jr. saying, "The time is always right to do what is right." And then in the bottom it says, "Please stop rioting. # peace and love." He's definitely showing to everybody that he takes the peaceful protest stance on that, and I respect that. I do.
Yeah.
And that is it for that article. Now we should get on to what you were saying before.
Let's go to, since this is the last musician, let's go to MGK real quick. MGK is pissed. Really pissed. So we're gonna show a video up right now of him him posting a video, and it's basically what I said earlier in the video and or podcast. Basically, he says in the post, it reads, this ain't the time to be neutral. We can help our peers. The world can finally listen to an issue that has been around for centuries. And it goes on for like a minute or two. It'll pop up on the screen right now. You're not getting in there, weirdo. Get out of here.
That's what she said.
He's being a dick. Go play. And he also shows pictures, and he says, just as soon, with a red heart and fists up. And it shows him with a sign up with all of his brothers, that he calls brothers, obviously, but we're all in this together. Silence is portrayal. It shows just different stuff. And on his story, he also shows that a bunch of people are recognizing him in the protests and like condemning him and like being happy and shit like that.
I think that's a good thing.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck? Twitter explains how you can support BLM as a non-black person. No. That is literally the headline right here.
I love it. Yeah.
God damn. I'm hoping that we have some positive news for you guys by next episode. There are some interviews that we're working on scheduling right now. Scheduling's just been a little bit tough, but should have some of those coming for you within the next couple weeks. If you made it this far, what do you got to do? If you're on YouTube right now, you got to hit that fucking subscribe button right there. It's right there. All right. You're going to crowd kill that fucking bell button.
Like, comment.
Like, comment, subscribe. Do
share.
All that stuff.
Share with everybody.
And if you are listening to us on a podcast platform that accepts ratings, please give us a ratings, because the algorithm does not favor us right now at all. So we would really appreciate any positive feedback as well as the ratings right now if you can do that. And sign up for our OnlyFans, because you're going to want to see the weird, wacky shit that I do with my penis.
Fantasies of us are coming together. And everybody and their mother has a fucking OnlyFans right now. So.
Yeah, but it's only going to be shit of me doing stuff like this.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. I fucking hate you.
You love me.
Yeah,
and
whatever.
You'd watch it.
Yeah, I would.
I mean, what woman wouldn't want to see that? I feel like that's a very empowering thing to watch. A man's genitals being exploded underneath a windowsill.
Stop, please. Stop.
So, I think we've taken up enough of your time at this point. Go support BLM. Don't be a hero, and also don't rip people out of their fucking cars. What else can we say here?
Black Lives Matter.
I think I'm going to throw in a clip of Ice-T saying, "No lives matter, motherfucker." If you break it down to the nitty gritty bullshit, no lives matter. I'm sorry. If you are out protesting and need some tunes, I got you on a playlist. That shit's going to be in the description as well.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Please.
That feels wrong saying it, but yeah, be careful out there. Thanks for tuning in. And bye.
Bye.
See you next time.
Just end it.
The rest is OnlyFans.
I hate you. Just end it. Bye.
Bye.